What's going on, everybody? So this is an old Milwaukee Sawzall. You can see that when it focuses there. See that? I don't exactly know how old this is, but it's at least, oh man, I couldn't even tell you, 30, 40 years old. Back when this was all still metal, real high quality. And it came in that box, so that gives you an indication how old this is. Because it will not come in a steel box anymore, I can tell you that. Got this for about under 40 bucks, which is pretty phenomenal considering it came with about 50 blades. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, all these are just blades on the bottom. Like, look at this one here. I mean, obviously they're used, but I mean, you can't go wrong with that, especially with the price of the blades alone will be. I got this in my vise here. Take this out. If you've seen the videos of my vise, you'll see the top of my vise is actually an old a chainsaw piston. I think it came off a chainsaw. It came off some too short, I don't even remember. This is it, guys. This is Milwaukee. I'm trying to see the exact model. Oh man, I tell you what, I might not be able to find the. If you type Milwaukee heavy duty Sawzall, I mean, you'll find this one. This is real high quality. I do have to do some repairs though, like this hanging out, but that's an easy repair there. Trigger lock actually works, which is pretty rare, I think, on older stuff, especially like that, just because that's a piece of plastic, so that's just gonna get banged up all day. But the body itself is all metal, so I'm real happy about that. So I'll put this back in my vise here because I was let's put the blade on, just see. Came with the guide too, which I was happy about. So I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna move this around here. Let's see. Let's see. There we go, guys. Zoom in this here. I'm not very good at the whole video thing. If you've seen all the other videos on my channel, they're kind of pretty hit or miss. There we go. It's not fancy, but usually can get stuff done. So I needed the Sawzall because I'm going to be doing some suspension work on my truck, and I'm going to be taking out the rear. I'm going to be dropping the lower or the rear axle and actually cutting off the bump stops. Huh. There we go, guys, I was going the wrong way. Just want to take off the guide, and if you can see that, it actually looks like the guide is adjustable, which is actually pretty nice. So we'll clean that up just with a wire brush. Look at that. So I haven't made a video in the new year yet. I'll obviously be posting short content and stuff like that, and I'll continue to do that for sure. Chainsaw content is going to be still continuing for sure. I've been having trouble finding the John Sword plates, guys. I'll be honest with you. The 520 SP, I can find the 510 no problem, but for some reason the 520 it's going to be a little more problematic, and I'm certainly not going to find that local down here. So we are going to have to figure something out because I really cannot find those parts, and I'm kind of bummed about it. Because I really want to finish that build. I haven't even done anything on it because I can't find the parts. Like I can't find the top, any parts for the top end for it. I can't find a cylinder for it. I can find a piston, but I can't find the cylinder. And there's a couple of used ones on eBay because that's kind of where I'm limited to search for. But those ones are missing. There's one that's okay. It's a little more than what I want to spend for parts, but there's another one that's a little cheaper, but it's missing the recoil starter. So, and I can't find a replacement. And the replacement, one of them I did find, is like 40 bucks. So I'm not really. It seems like I'm kind of just kind of picking at like scraps at this point. I also considered, because I just want to build one, to be honest with you. I also considered getting one of those just kind of like farmer tech kits just to build one. I just want to one, I want to obviously have a running saw right now as I'm trying to build up my saw collection, but two, I just want to I'm still learning, and also things like let's see, that goes in, there we go. I'm still very much learning and trying to get the basics of two-stroke work and engines on chainsaws. So I still like to like, for instance, I need to get better at installing the case bearings for sure. I got to get a heat gun and be able to successfully put in and seat bearings correctly. So I need to do that for sure. So anyway, I thought, yeah, I might get the Farmer Tech. I don't know which clone model I would get, but I'll let you know for sure. And then I have a few projects on my truck that I'll be doing, which is going to take a bit of time. Hopefully, in the next few weeks, I'll have time to do the suspension work on the back. What else? I have some radio stuff, some ham radio stuff that I'm going to be putting in. That I don't know what I'm going to put in, so I'll have to wait for that. Whenever that goes in, I'll make stuff for that too. But that's not going to be as involved as the suspension work. I'm guessing that's going to be an entire Saturday, but we'll see. Anyway, this is it. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. It's looking a little kind of slanted forward, isn't it? I think that's just how it seats. I'm glad it has the guide, or the fence, whatever you call that, in the front there. Pretty good shape too. Some old ones you can really see that where it got banged up and hit the blade, but this one looks like in pretty good condition. But again, I mean, that's, yeah, whatever. We'll clean that up after. I'll plan on taking this apart anyway because I want to look at the state of the wiring inside. It's got a high and low switch, which is pretty neat. You can see that. Go ahead and connect this to the power, and let's turn it on here. It draws 4 amps, I think is what it was. Let's say, yeah, 4 amps. So is that a good get? That's on low. This is high. Not too bad at all. Again, for under 40 bucks, I think it was like 30 bucks plus shipping. I don't know how you beat that. I was between this and just a cordless Ryobi, but I really don't want to buy any more Ryobi stuff. One, because they're a piece of junk and they don't last at all. The reason I was considering is because it's cordless, and I have the battery from my drill that I had like 3.5 years ago that broke after putting in some longer structural screws. It just smoked out and it stopped working. So, and I looked up the part that was broken, because you can fix it just by swapping the motor, but the motor itself, because it was out of production, was more than the drill, or more than I could buy the drill for again used. So I wasn't about to invest that money into that. So I went ahead and just scrapped that because I didn't have any need for any of the parts on there, because I didn't have another Ryobi drill. Just ended up going with the DeWalt one, which has been infinitely better and also way more power than the Ryobi. So I would not recommend getting any kind of Ryobi drill ever. It's very tempting because they're very cheap and they do work for a time, but you have to understand that the application of those is really to be used once a week. I mean, on a weekend for light use. And this was a hammer drill, so I I mean, even then, that's intended to be going through concrete, but I don't realistically see you do that. So I'll probably not be going that route again. But it was like 30 bucks for a cordless Sawzall, which is extremely tempting, but I knew it wouldn't last. And I'm not sure that it would have lasted through cutting it through a lot of metal. So that was the main concern. And that's what I'll be doing. I'll be cutting down just gonna be taking the bump stops off the back of my truck. And you need a Sawzall. You can do it with an angle grinder, I'm sure, but it would just be a lot tougher cut to get through that. And a lot more shaky to cut too, which is not what you want to be doing in your truck. Yeah, this is the stash of blades that it came with. I mean, you talk about, I mean, this is probably a little under 50 here. I'm not counting them, but I mean, there's wood blades, metal blades. I mean, short, long. I mean, all the different kind of types. I mean, this is a lot of. I mean, I don't know how much it is in blades, but I mean, if you were to try to do that now, I mean, it's way more than what this would have been, as it is. And you get the case too, which is which is real nice. So probably will leave the that in the case, but I mean, it's not a bad toolbox if you don't have one. All metal, and it'll last you. So yeah, you really can't go wrong with that. I don't know if yeah, I'll show you over here. So this is what we're going to be putting in, and that's why I needed a Sawzall, because where these sit on the bottom of the ram basically is where the existing bump stop is, and it's sitting on just a little like seat of steel, and you just got to cut that flush off and then sand it flush to your frame, spray it with a little paint just to prevent rust, and then you put this where that bump stop used to be. So that's why I needed it, and it's really, I mean, this is a good tool to have anyway, just for random stuff you need to do. But yeah, I also had to get what's it called? I didn't have. Maybe talk about. I had to get the most random bit size there. I had to get a 5.5 millimeter for hooking up that or building the back suspension of the bags. I didn't have a 5.5, which I was shocked about. I don't know what that is in standard, but it was 5.5 millimeters. So I don't know. But yeah, but this, I mean, this is just your AutoZone, this piece of junk, but very cheap. And you can see that that's the one that I had to use so far. So hopefully those will come in handy. Also, I still look around for used, like, higher quality bits and stuff, but in that case, I just need to get it done, so I just went with that one. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. I mean, these are the main projects. This is the newest kind of edition, I guess. So this is I got this. This is, I think this is 1940s ish, 1950. I think it's 40s. Craftsman, machinist. How many drawers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drawer, and then the top toolbox. So got this for 25 bucks. And again, I mean, this is, if you were to get this new, I mean, it's a lot of money. So can't go wrong with 25 bucks. Obviously, it was in horrible shape, and obviously you can see looking at it, my paint job isn't exactly greatest, because it's not really paint, it's Rust-Oleum enamel. So, which basically will guarantee that, one, it'll never rust anymore than what it has, but two, I can bang the front of it up like this, and I mean, I don't care about aesthetics at all if it's just shit, if it's just sitting in my garage. So can't go wrong there. So I've been organizing this stuff. It's kind of a pain to get these drawers out all the time. But they work pretty well. I mean, they still catch a little bit, but for 25 bucks, I mean, I needed a bigger toolbox anyway, so you really can't go wrong there. The only downside of using enamel sometimes is that once it starts chipping, it really goes, so that's already pretty new, and I don't know how I did that, but and then it's just on the Husky, this drawer stuff, which they're actually, the Husky, this is actually pretty nice. Like, it's pretty cheap, and it's just the box store one, but if you go any size bigger than that, you get expensive real fast, and I'm not sure that you want to spend that when you can probably buy a used one. It's gonna do the same thing, and it's a drawer. So I mean, unless you're picky, I don't know, or unless you're using it professionally, I guess, which I'm not. So yeah, I got, this is the Johnson part I was talking to you about. This is the brake, so I got all these parts scattered around here. I'm trying to figure out what to do with. But I think that's all the projects. I made a full-length video. Well, I did for the Polar, and that did pretty well. That was an old one, actually, when I was taking the flywheel off my the Johnson's crankshaft, which is interesting. So I guess I did that. I guess I got content out of it that way. Everything I did was I put this table on here, this bench. I finally put some new what do you call them? Feet, grips, cleats, whatever you call these on the vise. I had taken off the metal ones a while back because I had used this when I was out somewhere to hold a piece of wood, and I didn't want to get the indentations on the wood. Well, it figures I lost those metal ones, of course, and so this is just oak, or I think, no, it's not oak. What is this? I don't know what that is. Anyway, it's on there. It's wood, so I don't do a whole lot of metalworking, though, so I'm perfectly fine with that. I do more woodworking than anything, but anything that gets seriously used is going to this vise. You can't beat it. And again, I got this for 10. This vise I got for 10 bucks. So that's where we're at, boys. Man, yeah. I mean, the YouTube thing, man. Like, it's crazy. I'm still trying to put up the shorts and videos and everything. Been a little busier, so I haven't had much time to make as much content just with work and everything else going on. Hopefully I'll get back in the swing of things and keep going at it. So yeah, I'll post more when I have some more projects. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll see you.